Okay, so continuing part 2 with where we left off. We're talking about like terms and the examples and unlike terms. So these two are like terms because they have a square together in common, and then a square and a, they're not the same, so unlike term. The next one is coefficient. It's a numerical factor of a term. So basically, coefficient deals with numbers, and you always find it in front of the variable. So just like 2 in front of the 2x, the 6 in front of the x. Okay. So we're going to do more examples dealing with distributive property, but with variables and numbers combined. So for this one, same thing. We're going to distribute, so 5 times g, and then you have that minus sign, the negative sign in front of the 9. You need to include that, so that would be 45. And that's your answer. Don't do anything else. You've used the distributive property to create this new expression. Same thing with this. You got 3 terms inside the parentheses. And I'm going to circle this. Whatever sign is in front of the term, it belongs to that term. So first one, we got 6x squared. Then the next one, we got positive 12x. And 3 times negative 1 gives you negative 3. And that's it. Not too bad. So they say the next one says simplify the following expressions by combining like terms. So again, we're combining like terms. 15 and 18 gives you 33. And you need to have the x, because since they're the same, you just bring that down and then add the numbers, the coefficient. Okay, so we notice that this and this are like terms. So we're going to combine them, and you just bring the 10n down. These two together gives you 12, and then you have n squared. It's not n to the 4th. Again, this one treated, it's a variable, they have the same. You just bring it down and add the numbers. And that's it. And let's see, if we simplify, I mean, if you wanted to go any further, because then again, we don't want to go back to, we know both they have n in common, and they also have 2 in common. If you wanted to do that, but the thing, let's see if we can go. So we got 2 and we got n. This would be 5, and then this would be 6. n. I mean, this would be our simplified form, but in this case, just leave it as either or is fine, unless they want you to really simplify it. But this is what I'm looking for, that you're combining the like terms and then you're bringing it down. So the next one, negative 6, has nothing to do with this. Now we can start to do the distributive property. So this would be 14r, and this would be 10. We can combine these two. That will give us 4, and then plus 14r. Next one, this would be 4x, plus 12, plus 7. Combine these two, the 12 and the 7, bring down the 4x, you get 19. Alright, so it says when you distribute a negative, remember the rules for multiplication by a negative. So again, when you have a negative and a positive, you get a negative. A negative and a negative gives you a positive. So I'm going to circle the sign that's in front. This is its own group. So then we distribute. So negative with the positive, so you get negative 24x. And a negative, that's going to give you a positive, and that's 30. For this one, it says what is being distributed. So you have that negative in front of the parentheses. It's that invisible 1 that's in front. So I'm just going to place that 1. The negative 1, the invisible 1. So now we start distributing. So then distribute that and this. Oops, my mistake. I was trying to do the negative 1 to the numbers in the parentheses. So this and this. And notice that that plus 6 is by itself. So if you go down, 7 times 4, 28, and then you have the x, 28x. 7 times negative 5, negative 35. Bring down the plus 6. Negative 1 times negative 2x gives you positive 2x. Negative 1 times positive 9 gives you negative 9. Now you combine your like terms. In order to make it easier for you, so that way you do not mix up things, have everything all in order, combine, circle the like terms, this one and this one. And then I'm going to make a box for the coefficients. So that way I know what I'm working with. So these two would give me 30x. And then when I combine this one, this and this would give me negative 3, and a negative 3, and 35, negative 38. And that's my answer for that one. And that's it. Alright, so again, more examples of distribution. Remember, don't forget your sign. So this is 5x and this is negative 15. Next one. I'm going to draw the arrows. You can draw the arrows in order to help you know what you're distributing, or you don't have to. But make sure you don't skip any numbers, because most of the times I've noticed some students distribute the first number and completely forget about the last and just bring it down. Making this, for example, they would have 12 plus 6p, but that's not correct. You have to distribute everything inside the parentheses with the number that's outside. So this would be 36p. Again, negative with a negative gives you positive, so you got 18. A negative, negative here, positive, so that's 21, and n. And don't forget, if there's a variable with the coefficient, they're together. So don't just leave it out and just focus on the number. This will give you 14k, and this one is negative 42. Okay, next one. Distribute first. Always distribute first, and then bring down whatever is left over. So this one is negative 12n, this one is negative 30, this is plus 10. Combine the like terms, and there's your answer. Same thing. Negative 18, negative 10m, plus 2m, negative 18, and then this is negative 2m. Bring this down because it's not, has nothing to distribute. This would be 4n, and this would be 28. Combine these two since they're like terms. Negative 6n plus 28. Next one. So if you get the gist of this, you can move on. If you still need more practice, you can just stick with me. So this would be 50b, this would be negative 20, negative 2b. Combine the b's together, the b's. So this would be 48b, and this would be negative 20. Negative 10. The negative 54, and then positive 36v. Combine these two, that would be 64, 36v. Combine these, that's negative 8x, negative 20, positive 20, and this is 2x. Combine these two, that's negative 6x plus 20. So just more examples of this. Again, you got to pay attention to the signs. Don't forget the variable next to the coefficient. And of course, simplify further by combining like terms. So 32n and 54, negative minus 54. This one and this. And like I said, if you can draw arrows to help you know what you need to distribute. Okay, so 35a, and then this one is negative 18. Alright, so this one is just more, you're doing more distribution. So always distribute first. And make sure you're distributing the number outside that is next to the parentheses. So this is 40. This is plus 40p plus 48. All right, combine like terms. This would be 50p, and then this one would be 88. And if you don't want to get confused and miss out whatever, based on the terms, whatever terms you need to combine, you can always distinguish from each of them by drawing shapes. So that way you don't leave anyone out. So this is 24k, this is 32, negative 6k, and then positive 54. So we're combining the like terms. So this will be, make sure, yeah, 24 and 6, yeah, 18k. And then the other one that I have is 32 and 54. So that would be a positive, and then that would be 86. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Same thing. Just signs, paying attention to sign. Make sure you bring down the variable. And you're combining like terms. This cancels out, and this becomes 9. I'm going a bit fast, but again, you can always slow down, so that way you can understand what's going on. All right, and then this is that. So then these two, that will give you 27, and then you add those two, that's 51n. Right, so let's see how more, the same examples. Same thing. So I'm not going to go any further that. So I'm just going to show, see where I stop. So we got this. You can try them on your own. And if you want to make sure that you have the right answers, you can always email me, show me the example that you did on the video, and see if you have the right answers. But basically you get the gist of it. It's just distribution. Make sure negative is a negative. Negative times negative gives you positive. Positive. Negative and negative gives you positive. Negative and a positive gives you a negative. And whatever sign is in front of the term, it has to be with that term. They're together. So don't leave it out, because that's where mistakes usually happen with the signs, and also combine like terms. And the way that I did it, you can just leave it as is. So there's no reason, I mean, based on like the example that I did, I think for not there, a little bit further, like this, if you know how to get to that point, you could do that, but just leave it as is, because I just want to see that you can simplify, you can combine like terms, you can distribute. All right, so this ends our lesson, and have a good day.